All right, if you're tuning in, go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it. Make sure you comment also. Now, let's go ahead and talk about these hurricanes that's been hitting Florida and all over the U.S. for the most part. Now, I remember back when I was younger, I would say about almost 20 years ago at this point, Hurricane Ivan was one of the worst storms that hit Florida. It was a Category 5, but about time it made landfall, it was a Category 4, then eventually quickly dropped down to a 3. Now, you would think that would be good news. However, what ended up happening with Ivan, that it just stayed pretty much in one location in the Gulf Coast, hitting around Pensacola, Mobile, Milton, that area, and stayed there for a very long time. I remember sitting in the house and just waiting for the storm to pass, and it seemed like it never would end. Typically, a hurricane, I won't say they're fast moving, but at least you know that they won't be in your way for that long of a time frame. Ivan back then just didn't die. It had made its way up the coast and it became a tropical storm, and it's kept causing damage and flooding for days on end. Compare this to what's going on right now. I wish that for Hurricane Milton and the people of Tampa and the surrounding areas is going to get hit by that storm. Because for what I see, and this kind of worries me, I'm a native Floridian. You know, we live, we have hurricane parties. I mean, let's be real here. You'll see people still trying to go out to the beach. You'll see people trying to surf. You'll see people having cookouts. We normally don't take hurricanes that seriously. We prepare, of course. We're not careless with it, but we can engage it pretty much to see if we're able to go outside and enjoy the nice wind, a little bit of rain, or what have you, right? Compared to this one, never mind the fact that Helene just kind of hit that area too, and there's surfing damage and flooding from there. And I'm not talking about the Carolinas, I'm about this Florida right now. Just from that hurricane alone. Now, not even a week later, you have Hurricane Milton that rapidly turned into a Category 5 hurricane. That's the stuff of nightmares. And I am terrified for the people of that area, to be honest with you. Because here's the thing. No matter how well you prepare, and if we're being really honest, the homes that are built there, or excuse me, let me rephrase that, the newer homes that are being built because of all the snowbirds and people want to move to Florida, so they're building all these houses really quick to try to accommodate for the people. They're not as well built as like the houses that are built from the 60s and 70s. The wood isn't as good, the material isn't as good. Instead of having an all brick home, you have homes made out of fake wood and vinyl siding, things that this will not hold up during a hurricane, not a Category 5 at least. I don't care what technology they claim to have. There's a good reason why along all of Florida, you'll see certain houses that stood the test of time because they built with solid, good materials compared to the newer homes are being flattened out. So all these people who are not from Florida that are living in these new homes are going to be displaced. A lot of them are not going to know what to do, so they may cause themselves more harm and damage and their family members too. So part of the problem that I think is that can help fix us like this is not necessarily trying to get everybody evacuated, because realistically you can't. The roads and interstates are all backed up right now. It's just if we just had better structured homes that are being built and not the cookie cutter homes that are being built to make a quick buck. But you know, hindsight's 2020. I guess going forward, we should really try to get that push as far as legislation goes as to the quality of homes that should be built in the state of Florida. But back to Milton. Milton terrifies me because Milton is going to be a 5 that hits the ground, and they're saying that it should be a new Category 6 storm because it's so strong. You even see meteorologists out there crying their eyes out because that storm is essentially a unliving sentence. Not too many people are going to survive that if they choose to stay. Well, I found a few videos that I thought was kind of I won't say entertaining, but interesting of the damage so far and how things look already.
Oh my good. Oh my gosh, it's a tornado.
So there is no rescue. I just called them. Everything's been suspended. This is my house right now. And this is outside now. My car is destroyed. It's completely underwater. There's like a random fence out there. There's my car. And yeah. So this isn't good, guys. This is not good.
And one of the things that people most likely don't realize when it comes to all the flooding that happens, or even when there's like a really bad long storm, that a lot of black mold can start to form. And that's going to be another thing they have to try to figure out how to get fixed. I saw another video. I don't think I grabbed a clip of that one from TikTok where the ground was bubbling. And normally when you see grounds bubbling, that's a good sign that there's going to be a sinkhole there. You should get out of that area completely. And that's what I mean. Surviving a hurricane is not necessarily surviving the wind, the water, and the water. It's also surviving what could be going on underneath you. Because once all that flood water is gone, sinkholes start to happen, roads start to corrode. So it really puts you into survivor mode. Now, people in the Carolinas and Appalachian Mountains, I empathize with you guys because I've been there and seen that myself. I still remember after Ivan, I seen corroded roads and sinkholes everywhere. It has surprised me the amount of damage that I saw back then. I didn't get to drive around and see everything, but it took years for us to bounce back. And the interesting thing is, whenever we did, our population increased a lot by that time too. Anyways, on to the next video.
When I tell you this is some bullshit, this is some bullshit. This is some bullshit. This is some bullshit. This is some bullshit.
Boy, we in the median by the dirt. Look, on the other side of the yellow line, we trying to get the fuck up out of Florida. This shit is getting crazy. The storm's coming. It's gonna wash us away, and I want to live. I can't die. Run, bitch, run.
Now, for something like that, I would imagine that man must not be from Florida to say something like that. And I understand that I kind of chuckled there, mainly because of his reaction. But I'm pretty sure that's one of the few times that police officers not going to be really policing people trying to stop them from trying to get out of harm's way. But here we are. There were plenty of other videos that were out there, but it was getting a little, I won't say depressing. It was kind of disheartening. But what do you guys think? You know, what do you guys think when it comes to these hurricanes and the responses we've been getting? Never mind the kind of sad response we've been getting for our leadership. And I'm not just talking about Kamala and Joe Biden, even DeSantis. And that was really disgusting whenever DeSantis wouldn't even take a phone call from Biden, I guess, to see how he can help or what he may need or something along those lines. I get it. You know, well, I get it, but I don't get it. I get it in the sense that you want to seem like you're a strong, tough, independent leader that has everything together, right? I don't know what that's going to do for you. But at the exact same time, when people play politics, people end up losing their lives. And that's going to end up happening here, that because people are wanting to play politics, people are going to end up losing their lives. And it's getting to the point where these people who are in power, and when I mean people in power, not the people that we can't see, the people like our direct government, I think they should be held accountable for every single life that is lost, for every injury that is had. When they let their pride and ego get in the way of what's best for American citizens and the people of the state, they should suffer those consequences. Because politics should not be played in a time of disaster. This is one of the few times where you gotta be like, you know what? I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican or independent or libertarian or Green Party or whoever. I just want you to help me so I can help my people, because that would be the sign of an amazing leader. But, you know, we've seen DeSantis' shortcomings way too many times, unfortunately. Now, I'm not saying he hasn't done some things right, which he definitely has, but in this situation, a Category 5 hurricane hitting Tampa, Florida, one of the largest cities in Florida, in the surrounding area, and never mind, not just the direct hit to Tampa, it's going to cause flooding and damage all over the place and probably spawn off tornadoes, and it's just going to be all kinds of craziness. It's probably going to have hailstorms. If I had to make a prediction what this storm going to do when it makes landfall, it's going to have, because it's cooler right now, right? So there's going to be hailstorms. There's going to be tornadoes. There's going to be a lot of lightning strikes. There'll be wind damage. You're going to see stuff going through things. You think it go through stuff. And you're just going to see overall flooding. I listed about 5 days right then and there. So those 5 days cannot just be handled by, I don't know, the National Guard and, you know, our fire and police. We're going to need that extra help from D.C. People who's going to, you know what I'm kind of curious about? Did DeSantis leave the state? That's something I got to look into. I want to look into see if DeSantis left the state, because if he left the state, because the state capital is not too far from there. Well, actually, he is in a pretty good way, because I know Jacksonville is in the good direction, because Jacksonville is around right here. The state capital is somewhere around over here, so you won't see. You won't have a reason to really leave. So never mind. And then you got Tampa around right there. Then you have, what is this? West Palm Beach in this area, Orlando and Miami down here. So all those places down here will be fine for the most part. Tampa, Daytona Beach is around here. I can't think of any other major cities that's going to be around there. All that's going to be impacted very hard. And maybe by the time it gets to Tampa, it will die down some. But I don't know. When I say Tampa, then I meant to say Daytona. I'm getting a little tired. It's kind of late. But you guys tell me what you think. When is the right time to leave? And here's another thing for people who live in Florida and you choose to stay, right? Or let's say if you just want to leave and you say you can't because you have bills to pay. That's one of the few times I got to say to you, F those bills. F your mortgage, F your power bill, F your light bill, F your phone bill. Well, not the phone bill because you need to contact people. F the water bill. Say F all those bills in that particular moment. Because realistically speaking, with Category 5 storm coming, more than likely, you'll be very blessed if your house stay how it is. And most of the time, a lot of these building companies, when they have a national disaster like this, they, at least in the state of Florida, they'll help you skip payments or stuff like that because of them being understanding. So I understand people want to have a good payment history and good credit, but you know, your good payment history and your good credit is not worth your life. Money is tight. Everybody's living from paycheck to paycheck. So this is one of these times where it's like, for you, if you're in Florida and it's gotten very expensive, because again, we got such an influx of people from the north coming down here, just go ahead, skip those bills, get the supplies you need and leave, or just to make sure you have enough stuff to go ahead and move to the other part of the state. You know, you got the Panama City, you got the Milton, Florida, which is kind of ironic in a way. You have Gulf Breeze, Destin, you have Pensacola. You can just go all in those locations, still be within Florida, and it won't be as long of a drive compared to if you went completely out of state. But that's just my stance on it. I would say forget your bills for this very moment. If you can dispute those charges or something, try to get your money back, so you can go ahead and get in your car and go. And I understand that gas is high. I mean, most places, I hate to say this, you can put your card in, authorize $1, and you can fill up your tank, and it'll post there for a larger amount if you have the $1 available on your card. I mean, there are ways to try to make sure you get the safety that you will need to do. And you know, this hurts. This hurts. And I was hoping that, you know, the storm was going to calm down some. I was hoping it was going to stay a tropical storm. I was hoping that, you know, most of the time, you can ride out a Category 1 and 2 hurricane with no problem. 3 gets a little bit iffy. The main time, well, depending what side that 3 is on. If it's a high 3, maybe leave. But if it's a low 3, you can still ride that out. But like a 4 and a 5, you definitely need to get the heck up out of there. And this storm, it seems like it's going to break records to where it should be categorized as a 6. That just seems like the finger of God going through Florida trying to cleanse people. Anyways, that's just how I look at it. I feel like I kind of rambled and talked long enough, but if you have watched this, go ahead and like and comment and tell me what you think and your viewpoints on this. Do you agree with my stances on some of the things I said? Like, for example, you know, go ahead and just skip those bills. Your life is more important than your payment history, whatever bill you got going on right now. That car payment, mortgage, water bill, light bill, whatever other bill, just say forget it. Just say forget it. Because if I'm being really honest with you, I don't see those houses staying up there. I don't want to say that to put that into the world to be negative, but it's just the way that we build houses now. The way we build houses now is not like how we built houses back in the 70s. So those structures are not going to stay upright. I'd be very surprised. I know there's going to be billions of dollars worth of damage. Billions of dollars worth of damage. And I said billions of it's going to be billions. Because they still haven't had an opportunity to pick themselves up after Helene, excuse me. All right, then. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you for watching.